Hey, I'm Kristen Messerly with Mortgage Women Magazine and Cultural Outreach, and I'm so excited to interview Jessie Decker. Jessie was a judge with me on the tech demos at Digital Mortgage this year, which was a ton of fun. And she also led a panel session, I think it was called Women in Mortgage Technology. And so I wanted to first just hear your thoughts on like who, tell us a little bit about the panel, and for those of us who couldn't attend, some of the highlights there. So.
Sure, I'd be happy to. Thanks for having me today, Kristen. So we had an awesome panel. There was a lot of stuff happening at the Digital Mortgage Conference this year. So we were, really excited to be able to have a women's panel be one of the things that happened there. It was part of a larger session on women in mortgage technology that was emceed by Kim Hoffman from Envoy and had a really great keynote by Laura Escobar from Eagle Home Mortgage. And it was just a really, really awesome opportunity for a number of women, including some men, to get together and have a great conversation. So we didn't have a lot of time, but we covered a lot of ground, and we had essentially three main things that we talked about. And before I dive deep into that, I'll just tell you a little bit about who was on the panel, because we had a really great set of panelists. We had a woman named Liz Graham, who is from Notarize. She's awesome. Also Debbie Hoffman, who is from Symmetry Blockchain Advisors, also super great. And Nicole Booth from Quicken Loans, who is a rock star. So we're super happy to have such a great set of women come and just, be willing to be open and honest and share their thoughts. So we covered three main themes. The first theme was really around managing change and overcoming challenges, and how the panelists see what the specific barriers are to impacting to adopting new technology in this industry, how they've seen those barriers overcome, how organizations and companies kind of really tackle the fear of being a first mover, for example. We also talked about what we saw as coming next in mortgage tech. What are the most exciting changes to come? What are we seeing on the horizon? What are our clients or companies doing to take advantage of those opportunities? What's the general feeling of the state of the industry? And then we pivoted. We actually still had time after those two topics, which was awesome. And we pivoted to the topic of women in mortgage tech specifically, and how women are impacting mortgage technology, any lessons learned, or anything special that we think that women can offer in this space, how we can help each other and mentor and collaborate and celebrate each other. So we had a really awesome panel. I would say, the key takeaways that we talked through were things like that there's lots of opportunity on the horizon in terms of adoption of new technologies, new partnerships, and we talked a lot about potential consolidation in the industry and what that might look like and what we're seeing from our different vantage points. We had lots of good discussions around trends in collaboration and the importance of data. Lots of discussion around the fact that even mortgage companies are starting to see themselves as, in part data companies. And I think we wrapped up on just the general theme of diversity being really important, and diversity not just in terms of women's voices, but in terms of folks from all different backgrounds and all different experience sets contributing to moving the industry forward. And closed out on a note of how important it is to help each other grow, and to use our networks to help women who are already fabulous get new opportunities, get noticed for positions. And so when the panel ended, we had a wonderful session of networking with some hors d'oeuvres and some cocktails, and got to actually have some one-on-one conversations with everyone. It was a really special event. It was a really special event.
That is awesome. I'm so jealous I couldn't be there. I had a session going at the same time, and so
Okay.
I would make it. But yeah, I think this topic of, being a woman leader in mortgage is already, you're a minority, but mortgage and tech together is just extra. It's so great to see, I think, a movement towards paying attention to the need for diversity and women's voices at the table when we talk about mortgage tech. Any thoughts about the future of women or diversity when it comes to mortgage technology specifically?
I just think it's so important to make sure that our voices are at the table, right? It's sometimes hard to speak up in meetings. It's easy to get interrupted, and it's just really important to provide that new voice. I think especially as the folks who are looking to get mortgages, as what an average borrower looks like changes over time. It's really important, I think, for women's voices to be heard and to influence, you know, what the UI looks like and what the product set looks like and how folks interact with banks and non-bank lenders and what they expect. It's just, you know, the same old is probably not going to fly. And, you know, I think, you know, it's nice to have new folks at the table making their opinions known and influencing us to move forward in positive directions.
Absolutely. I love it. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to ask you about, you have such a strong background in mortgage technology and POS kind of world. What were your highlights from the demos that we saw? You had awesome insights after every demo. I always was excited to hear what you had to say. But what were some of the takeaways or highlights that you saw from the demo?
Sure. So it was hard to follow you and Julian, I'll say that. So I felt like, yeah, what they said, but it was really fun to you know, judge those demos. It was more fun than I expected it to be. You know, we had, I think, 35 plus companies give 8-minute sessions, and we judged them on 5 key categories, right? Which were the market and potential need, the likelihood of the company to succeed, the product to succeed, the degree of innovation, user experience, and the demo quality, the showmanship. And you know, some things that jumped out for me from the demos is, you know, well, first of all, CoreLogic and Finicity did awesome jobs. It's why they won, right? They both had great products. They did a really good job with their demos, their pacing, their showmanship, their explanation of, you know, the market fit and how what they were displaying was important. But overall, I think we saw some really good new technology and a view to some of the advances that have happened in the last year and what's to come. Things like, you know, the ability for borrowers to do self pre-qual, which seems like it should be easy, but is actually pretty complicated. Things like new capabilities around appraisals, advances that will get the LO out of the LOS and into the point of sale, which is the same place where the borrower or the customer is super important. And I guess, you know, I left those sessions thinking that there were really great opportunities for consolidation and partnership and collaboration in the industry. And I feel like we're on the verge of some of those things happening. So, you know, it's awesome. It'd be great to have that happen so lenders can move away from having to kind of cobble together solutions and, you know, have overlap with some of their providers. So I think we're getting there. It's exciting to see. It's really exciting to see.
Absolutely. Well, I loved all of your comments. Thank you so much for taking the time to share with us the highlights from the conference. And it was great to get to know you a little bit.
Same. Take care. Thanks for having me.
Sure.